Hi, everyone. Welcome again to IV English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
We have another article for you. It's entitled Motion Sickness Causes and Cures.
我们的中文标题是易晕车的人看过来，了解动晕症让你不昏头。
Okay, we've got a lot of material, so let's get started here. I'll read through the 3 long paragraphs here, and then we will return to the beginning and reread every sentence and explain in English and Chinese their meanings. Have you ever felt sick after riding a roller coaster? Or perhaps long, winding car rides make you dizzy? If so, then you have experienced motion sickness, and you are not the only one. In fact, 1 in 3 people is vulnerable to motion sickness, especially females and children aged 2 to 12. Signs of the illness are varied, but can include a headache, fatigue, vomiting, trouble breathing, pale skin, and loss of appetite. There are different types of motion sickness, such as car sickness, sea sickness, or air sickness, but the common factor among them is that they occur when people are riding in some kind of vehicle. During the ride, motion-sensing parts of your body, including your eyes, inner ears, joints, and muscles, send messages to the brain. Blank. For example, in a moving car, your ears sense movement, while your muscles and joints sense that your body is sitting still. Your brain may have trouble determining whether you're moving or not, and the end result is that you feel sick. If you have motion sickness, keep your eyes closed and try to take a nap. This can relieve the conflict between what the eyes see and the inner ears sense. Another way is to focus on something that is not moving, such as the horizon in the distance. There are also some foods that can help, like ginger or mint. If you tend to suffer from serious motion sickness, you can take medicine before the ride, whether it's bought over the counter or prescribed by your doctor. The good news is that motion sickness usually goes away shortly after your journey is over. So, once you get on stable ground, you'll be fine in a few minutes.
Okay, so have you ever felt sick after riding a roller coaster? Has anyone never felt sick after riding a roller coaster? Is there any amazing individual out there who can walk off a roller coaster completely in possession of their legs and faculties?
Grissom. CSI, Las Vegas television series, the leader of the criminalists.
A fictional character or
fictional, you bet.
Okay, so that's just proving my point. A roller coaster, of course, is a torture device. I mean, an entertainment device whereby there's a train on a twisty track that takes you through incredible gyrations and G-forces and leaves you with your hair up and your
and your
and your legs crossed,
the contents of your
and the
stomach
contents
out.
of your stomach out. Yes.
所以呢，这个 roller coaster 就是云霄飞车啊。他刚刚 Angela 是戏称说它是个 torture device。torture 是 T-O-R-T-U-R-E 啊，这个是折磨 ，device 是一个装置啊 ，D-E-V-I-C-E 啊，所以这个折磨人的装置。好，那我们来看这个句，他说你有没有在搭乘过riding 在这些搭乘的意思？你搭乘云霄飞车之后，你是不是曾经感觉到 sick？sick 在这里不是生病，而是想要吐的意思啊，在这里它是 nauseated 的意思啊，这个 N-A-U-S-E-A-T-E-D 啊，所以你坐完云霄飞车之后会不会想吐呢？
Okay, have you ever felt sick after riding a roller coaster? And now we ask another question, very similar. Or perhaps, meaning, have you ever felt sick after perhaps long, winding car rides make you dizzy? Does that happen to you? Dizzy is when you cannot focus well and you feel unsteady, you feel very uncomfortable. Maybe you want to throw up or you prefer to go to sleep. It's an unstable and unpleasant state of mind.
Dizzy 就是头晕目眩，好，所以刚刚问完说你坐完云霄飞车之后会不会觉得想吐呢？或者是 long 很长距离的 winding 就是弯弯曲曲的曲曲折折的 car rides 就是乘车旅行。好，这个 ride 在这里就是 a journey in a vehicle 的意思。好，那 car rides 就是搭车乘车的旅行。好，所以坐在车上如果经过一段很长又弯弯曲曲的路，这样的一个事情会不会 make you dizzy？ 会不会让你觉得头晕目眩呢？
And if so, then you have experienced motion sickness, which is feeling sick from motion. And you are not the only one.
If so, 如果这样，就如果你有以上我们讲的这种现象 then 那么 you have experienced 那你就经历了 motion sickness 就是动晕症，动的时候会晕晕的动晕症。然后呢 you are not the only one 就是不是只有你会这样子，所以我们看到接下来他会怎么说。
In fact, 1 in 3 people is vulnerable to motion sickness. That's why you are not the only one. If you're vulnerable to something, it means you can easily suffer from something, especially females and children aged 2 to 12. I'm in the second category. When I was a small boy, we would drive from New York State to the Boston area where my father grew up, and we went over the mountains between New York State and Massachusetts, and boy, did I felt like dying. It was really unpleasant.
好，所以呢这地方讲到说 in fact 因为他说你不是只有你这样子，那 in fact 就是要讲更详细的资讯跟你讲了。好，继续说明事实上呢他说 1 in 3 people 就是3个人里面就有1个人 is vulnerable to motion sickness. To be vulnerable to 就是容易受害，容易受什么所害，容易有什么状况。好，所以3个人里面就有1个人呢很容易会有这种动晕症。好，中文大概是这样讲，但是英文会用 is vulnerable to 这样的片语。好，那尤其是谁容易有动晕症呢？ Females 女性还有 children 小孩子，而且什么样的小孩呢？ Children aged 2 to 12 2岁到12岁的小孩。
So signs of the illness are varied and very colored. No, just kidding. Very colored implies that, when you throw things up, it's more than one color. Anyways, some of the signs of the illness are varied. There's many different kinds of signs to this illness, but it can include a headache or fatigue, feeling tired, or vomiting or throwing up. Trouble breathing means you have trouble breathing.
Shortness of breath.
Shortness of breath. I've never had that one from riding or from motion sickness. That's a new one for me. Pale skin. You get pale because your blood goes away from your skin for reasons I don't understand. And a loss of appetite. You feel gross and you don't want to eat.
好，所以 signs of the illness sign 在这里就是这个征候或者是症候那个病症的那个征候或者是症状等等的。好，所以 the illness 就是指动晕症，所以动晕症的这个征候有什么呢？他说 are varied 其实是各式各样都有， varied 就是各有不同啦，就是不同的人他的动晕症症候各有不同，叫做 signs of the illness are varied。 但是呢 can include 但是它的症候呢可以包括以下这些东西，所以以下这些都可能是动晕症的症候。例如说 headache 头痛， fatigue 就是疲劳， vomiting 呕吐，那 trouble breathing 就是呼吸困难，shortness of breath 呼吸急促那刚刚谈到这个 Bruce 老师说这个 shortness of breath 意思就是呼吸急促。然后呢 pale skin 肤色苍白那或者是 loss of appetite 食欲不振appetite 就是食欲。
Okay, our second paragraph. There are different types of motion sickness, such as car sickness, sea sickness, or air sickness. Let me stop just for a moment. So these 3 kinds of motion sickness, you can have it when driving in a car. Sea sickness is when you're in a boat. Air sickness is when you're on a plane. But The common factor among them, these three different kinds of motion sickness, have one thing in common, is that they occur when people are riding in some kind of vehicle. You don't get this by walking. You have to be in a car or a boat or a plane.
好，所以呢 there are different types of motion sickness. 所以动晕症有不同的类型，好 types。例如什么呢？ Car sickness 就是晕车， Sea sickness 就是晕船，好，注意不是 boat sickness， 是 sea sickness。然后呢 Air sickness 晕机啊，同样的也不是什么 airplane sickness 啊，所以这概念都一样的 sea sickness 或者是 air sickness 就是晕机。但是呢 the common factor 他们共同的一个因素啊，会让你动晕的一个共同的因素是什么呢？ Among them 就是指上面各种不同的 motion sickness 之间有一个共同的因素是什么呢？ Is that they 就是动晕症 occur 会发生 when people are riding 当人们在搭乘啊，这个 riding 是搭乘的意思，搭乘在 in some kind of vehicle 啊，在某一种交通工具里面搭乘某一个交通工具的时候就会产生这种动晕症。
During the ride, motion sensing parts of your body. So there's different parts of your body that sense motion, that tell you when you're in motion. And these include your eyes, your inner ears, your joints, and your muscles. All of these parts of your body send messages to the brain. They're all like, hey dude, we're in motion now.
好，在 during the ride 就当你在搭乘这些交通工具的时候呢 motion sensing parts of your body 你身体的这种动作感应部位 motion sensing sense 就是感应，所以你身体的动作感应部位包括什么呢？包括你的眼睛，包括你的 inner ears 就是你的内耳，还有你的 joints 关节，还有 muscles 还有肌肉，都会怎么样 send messages to the brain 都会发送讯息给你的大脑。
Okay, and now we have a blank which we will deal with when we have our questions at the end of the article. The next sentence, for example, we're now talking about how the body senses motion. In a moving car, your ears sense movement, while your muscles and joints sense that your body is sitting still, because we just sit in a car. But maybe you have the window open and you can feel moving wind, or you're looking outside the window and you can see things moving by quickly.
Or the pressure changes in the liquids in your body tell you that things are moving around.
Right, especially if you're going up and down hills or something like that. So there's discord between the parts of your bodies that are saying, hey, we're moving, and the parts are saying, what do you mean we're moving? We're sitting still.
好 discord 就是不协调 D-I-S-C-O-R-D discord。 所以例如怎么样呢？这里有一个空格，但这个是等一下我们碰到问题的时候再来解决这个空格，我们先把这个句子看懂。好，那接下来空格之后的这一句是说，例如for example 在一个移动中的车辆 in a moving car 在一个移动中的车辆里面呢 your ears 你的耳朵 sense movement 感测到的运动 while 但是呢你的 muscles 跟 joints 你的肌肉跟你的关节 sense that 他们感应到的是怎么样呢？是 your body is sitting still 你的身体呢是坐着不动 to sit still 就是坐着不动的意思，那个 still 就是不动的意思。
Your brain may have trouble determining or figuring out whether you're moving or not. If you have trouble doing something, it means that it's difficult for you to decide whether you're moving or not, at least for your brain. Your brain's like, well, the joints are saying we're moving, but the butt is saying we're still. The eyes are saying we're moving, and the ears are saying we're moving, but the rest of me I'm not making any muscle motion, so I don't know what's going on here. And the end result is what happens with all this conflicting information is that it goes, okay, I'm just going to settle some nausea in the stomach and we'll call it a day.
好，所以呢 your brain 你的大脑 may have trouble determining to have trouble doing something 就是很难做到什么事情。那 determine 就是决定它要确定要决定，所以你的大脑可能很难决定到底你是在动还是没有在动 whether you're moving or not。 好，那 And the end result 就是最后的结果 end 就是最后，所以最后的那个结果就是怎么样 You feel sick 你就觉得想吐。
Okay, our third and final paragraph. If you have motion sickness, keep your eyes closed and try to take a nap. Whenever anything bad happens, I think that's good advice.
好，所以呢，如果你开始有动晕症出现了，这个时候把你的眼睛闭起来，keep your eyes closed， 而且不是说闭起来一下，就是眼睛维持在闭着的状态之下，然后呢 try to take a nap， 试着小睡一番to take a nap 就是小睡一下。
This can relieve the conflict between what your eyes see and the inner ears sense. I don't know. This is not good advice. I don't think you can take a nap inside the situation. I mean, the best cure for after you get out of the moving vehicle is to go to sleep so your body can rest and resettle itself. But I don't know. Some people are good at taking a nap during a car ride, and I have never been able to do that.
I would say most people are good at that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Fall asleep on the MRT.
But I mean,
car.
People who normally get car sickness, or they're already car sick and they can fall asleep?
They can try.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think if you go to sleep before the car sickness, you're probably okay. But if you're already car sick, then you try. I don't think it's possible to go to sleep. Anyways, that's my personal experience. And, you know, your mileage may vary. It's different for everybody.
好，所以呢，他说，你如果说眼睛闭起来，试着小睡一番那刚刚我们在跟 Angel 老师讨论的就是能不能睡着？你如果已经晕车了，能不能睡着那或者有的人可能觉得在车上不容易睡，但是我的经验是，好像很多人在车上都很容易就睡着了那所以我不知道那看看各位的经验每个人经验可能都不同。但不管怎么样呢，你眼睛闭起来，试着小睡一番，这样做呢 ，this 就只这样做就可以 relieve， 就是缓解to make a problem less serious 所以可以缓解一下 the conflict。这个两者之间的冲突，什么的冲突呢 ？Between 好，所以 the conflict between A and B 就是 A 跟 B 之间的冲突。那 A 跟 B 在这里是什么呢 ？A 是 what the eyes see， 就是眼睛所看到的。那 B 是什么呢？是 what the inner ears sense， 你内耳所感测到的东西。那这个 the inner ears sense 前面省略了一个 what， 所以就是你所看到的跟你的内耳所感测到的两个之间因为不平衡，所以你会觉得就觉得晕晕的。那你如果把眼睛闭起来，试着小睡一番的话，就可以缓解这两者之间的那个冲突。
Another way is to focus on something that is not moving. This will allow you to keep your eyes open, but you're not looking at things rushing by the car or the train or the taxi or whatever vehicle you're in. But what would you look at? Well, if you're in the countryside, look at the horizon in the distance, the line between the sky and the earth. That doesn't move, and that may help your body relax.
好，所以另外一个方法呢，就是要 focus on， 你就专注于专心的看什么呢 ？Something that is not moving， 你看一个没有在动的东西，也就是比较远的东西它就看起来就感觉没有在动。例如什么东西呢 ？The horizon 就是地平线 ，in the distance 远方所以你可以看看远方的地平线，看起来好像没有在动，这样也会好一点。
Yeah, it helps your brain figure out the difference between the moving and the not moving, I think.
Yeah.
There are also some foods that can help, like ginger or mint. Some people find that eating mint things or ginger things help.
好，那也有一些食物可以有帮助that can help. Like 例如什么 ginger 生姜或者是 mint 薄荷。
If you tend to suffer from serious motion sickness, you can take medicine before the ride, whether it's bought over the counter. That means you do not need a prescription. You can walk into a drugstore, ask for a little help. I need some motion sickness pills, and you can buy them freely. Or prescribed by your doctor. There may be stronger medicines that do require a prescription or doctor's order.
好，所以 if you tend to， 如果你常常 suffer from serious motion sickness， 常常会有这个严重的动晕症 ，suffer from 就是有什么样的病症那这样子的话怎么办呢？你可以 take medicine before the ride， 你可以在这个开始上车旅行之前先吃点药 take medicine。 好 whether 不管这个药 it's 就这个药是 bought 购买 over the counter， 所以 over the counter 就是指不需要医师处方，你可以直接在药房购买的这个成药啊，在药房的柜台就可以买的，所以 bought over the counter 其实就是指买的是成药，或者是你去找医生啊，那就是 prescribed by your doctor， 就是医生所开的药都可以，所以有成药你也可以去找医生开药都可以。
The good news is that motion sickness usually goes away shortly after your journey is over. If by shortly you mean a half hour to an hour, then yes.
好，所以 the good news is that 这也很常用啊。所以好消息是 motion sickness 动晕症 usually goes away 通常会消失 goes away 就是消失 shortly 就是很快地 after your journey is over 啊，你的旅程结束之后通常很快的动晕症就会消失了，这是好消息。
So once you get on stable ground, once you get out of the vehicle that you were in and you're standing on the ground, you'll be fine in a few minutes. You wish.
啊，所以呢，这个你一旦 get on stable ground， 你一旦踏上了平稳的地面啊 ，stable 就是平稳、稳定的 ground 的地面的话呢 ，you'll be fine 就是你就好了，你就没事了。In a few minutes 几分钟你就没事了。
Okay, we have some questions here for you. Number one of which is, which of the following statements is not true about motion sickness?
下列关于动晕症的叙述哪一个是错的？
The answer is D. The term specifically refers to sickness one feels when riding in a car. This is not true.
答案是 D， 因为 D 说这个名词专指人们在乘坐汽车时感到的不适，这是错的，因为不只是坐汽车，搭飞机或者是坐船都可能会有动晕症。
Our second question, which of the following best fits the blank in the second paragraph? When I said we'll do this later, the blank that is in the middle of that paragraph, now you know the sentence before it and after it. Which of these four sentences connects these two ideas best?
好，所以我们看到这一题问说，下列何者最适合填入第二段的空格？那我们在第二段有一个空格，所以这里各位要根据空格前的那一句跟后面那一句之间的关系来看看这里填哪个句子是最合适的。
Yeah, the best one is B. Your brain receives conflicting information from them.
好，那我们看到这个题目呢，它这个空格前面提到说，大脑会从耳朵啊、肌肉啊、关节等等动作感应部位，好，这个来接收讯息。那空格后面呢，又提到说，坐车的时候耳朵觉得有动作，但是肌肉跟这个关节却感受到你坐着不动，所以我们就知道说，是从大脑所接收到的讯息，跟耳朵或者内耳或者肌肉关节等等所接受到的讯息呢，都是大脑接到这些讯息是彼此是互相矛盾的，所以我们这一题的答案选 B 是最好的，因为 B 它的意思是说，你的大脑从他们那里接收到的相互矛盾的讯息，好，那这个他们就是指说这个你例如说刚刚讲到的这个肌肉关节跟内耳跟眼睛等等。
And number 3, how is the information about motion sickness organized in the passage? What is the logic flow of our article?
好，所以本文是如何架构关于动晕症的资讯呢？
And the answer is 3, is C. It goes from symptoms to causes to remedies.
好，那正确答案呢是 C。我们先讲的是症状，再讲成因，再讲疗法。
All right, that's it for today's lesson. We'll be with you just one more time this month. Can't wait. Until then,
Bye-bye.